You know, just like when you watch a movie or read a book or listen to a song and you're just like, this is me, this is my soul. Just finding that soul character is just everything. I love reading so much. It has been one of my favorite pastimes for a very long time. And like many, in 2020, 2021, I got like really into it where now I read like an obscene amount of books a year. And I wanted to share with you guys my favorite books because I am quite particular about the books that make it onto my bookshelf and that I actually keep because 9 times out of 10, if not more, I'm going to read a book first through the library. I love the public library so much. I've saved so much money. And then if I love the book and feel like I'm going to want to reread it, I will go and buy my own copy. And if I read it and just enjoy it or hate it, DNF it, that's none of my business. I didn't spend any dollars on it. With the exception of 3, maybe 4 books on this bookshelf, I have read it and I have loved it, and I'm gonna talk all about it. The first part of this video is going to be a bookshelf tour where I'm gonna take you guys in my little book nook area and go shelf by shelf to look at kind of how I have my books arranged and set up, as well as trinkets. And then if you're like, hey, that's all good, I don't need any more, feel free to dip. But if you want to hear me go into detail, not too much detail, I'll try and keep it short, about these books, then I'm going to go through my collection with y'all. So this is my little book nook where I have my bookshelf and my record player and LPs. I've got my disco ball up here and then some music related decor on the wall. I painted both of these. I love thrifting messed up, beat up LPs and painting them for decor. And down here I have this pink little cushion, whatever it's called, that I got from Target a couple of years ago. And then I just have a blanket and some pillows. And I love to come over here and read when I can just not focus on a book. The tippity top of my bookshelf has many fake plants on it from my past dorms and apartment. I've got some little trinkets and memorabilia from my Disney college program that I did a few years ago, as well as some embroidered hats for the memories. Here is the top shelf of my bookshelf. I have this poster that I got from seeing Avengers Endgame the opening night, which is still like one of the most insane movie experiences I've ever had. Then I've got some trinkets. I've definitely lightened up on my trinkets recently, which I think is good. And then I have a bunch of Disney fairies, Pixie Hollow stuff going on over here because when I got this ARC a couple of months ago, they sent like this whole box of goodies and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this. My largest shelf, I try to keep most of my heavy books here, either on the shelf or the very bottom shelf. So I have this very big Disneyland book. I put it on its side for more space up here. And then I've got the snow globe that I've had since I was little, my camera that I really should use more, and this book sleeve that I sewed and I'm very proud of. I have made many of these to gift to friends. I just think that they are great and so cute. This is what I like to call my summer bookshelf because pretty much every single one of these books, if it doesn't take place in summer, it has very summer feelings. I mean, just look at all these bright colors. And then I have my Sabrina Carpenter Van Leeuwen sticker, some glasses I made for the Don't Look Down tour with Bishop Briggs and Mr. Wives. And then this guy is a stamp that my friend Caroline got me where I can stamp all of my favorite books. Book-wise, this shelf is pretty miscellaneous. I have a little bit of space here to add on to these 2 series that I still need to complete. I DIY'd this candle when Olivia Rodrigo released the Guts Spilled tracks because she had a very similar candle in her shop and I was like, I can make that. So I did. A little picture frame of me and my cousin, and then here I keep a lot of bookmarks and sticky notes and stuff. And finally, at the very bottom, I have some recipe books, another bookend. I don't think I talked about it on the top shelf, but my friend India got these for me for my birthday last year, I believe, and they are so, so cool. I love the colors on them. I also have my heavier and taller books over here, including some Disney Fairies Pixie Hollow books. And then back there, I keep my pin backs for my Disney pins, as well as some other miscellaneous trinkets. I'm going to start off with Percy Jackson and the Olympians because these copies are just gorgeous. My family has all of the OG covers, as well as the Kane Chronicles, Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, the Magnus Chase books. Magnus Chase? Is that his name? Yes, the Magnus Chase books. And some others, but I specifically wanted to get my hands on these gorgeous copies because I love that the spine makes a rainbow. I think that it's absolutely beautiful, and the covers are just phenomenal. And this is a series that I reread every single year. It's usually around this time, so I have a feeling in the next couple of weeks we're gonna be diving back into Percy Jackson. Maybe like they're technically considered 6 and 7 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but like these take place after Heroes of Olympus. It's a new trilogy he's doing. So I have The Chalice of the Gods and Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I'm looking forward to the third book, which is rumored to be the last Percy Jackson book, which part of me is like, no, don't take him away. But also, he deserves retirement. Percy Jackson needs a break. He needs to catch a break. And when Rick Riordan went on a book tour for Chalice of the Gods, he came to Houston and I was able to go. So I have a signed copy. Also on the top shelf are my Disney Fairies Pixie Hollow books. But these are specifically the newly published ones. I have some picture books, as well as on TikTok last year, I spent many a month looking for the original Tales of Pixie Hollow chapter books. I did complete that collection, but I keep all of those books in the office because they just don't fit on this bookshelf. Of course, I have Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. This is the story of the romance between Queen Clarion and Lord Mallory. If you have watched Secret of the Wings, you would know that there was something going on between them, and they were the reason why they decided to not allow winter fairies and the other seasons to cross paths. You know, you couldn't go over that bridge or whatever. And this was an absolutely beautiful story. I keep saying that I need to reread it, but I've not gotten around to it yet. This is my pride and joy. This is my treasure. This is an advanced reader's copy of Wings of Reverie by Anna Bright. This is a continuation of Wings of Starlight. So here we learned about Queen Clarion taking on her role as queen. It's kind of taking place where everything's ramping up for her coronation. And then this one takes place not long before Secret of the Wings because it is all about Periwinkle and her just feeling like there's something out there for her to discover. And that's when she starts dreaming. And that puts her in the path of Weaver, a dream talent fairy, which is a forgotten talent. And so then it's Weaver and Periwinkle trying to save Pixie Hollow using dreams. And it's just a really beautiful story, and getting to learn more about a new talent or a lost talent. And it comes out August 4th. And then I have Bleak Watch Chronicles, Tinkerbell and the Lost City by Zach Lorraine Clark. This was so good, and it ended on the biggest cliffhanger. So it's very steampunk and industrial. So this fairy shows up in Pixie Hollow, can't speak, but is kind of trying to tell something to Tinkerbell, like something very important. And so Tinkerbell goes to the mainland and finds this almost town of fairies that live in like the bottom of a clock tower or something, and they're all tinkers to an extent because it's like very industrial, and not every fairy there has a talent. Like it's only a select few, and it was just such an amazing read. Ended on a cliffhanger, but I believe we're getting the next book next year, so I'm very excited. I love Heartstopper so much. These graphic novels are beautiful, and the show is amazing, and I cannot believe that in a month we're going to have volume 6 and Heartstopper Forever. I have already pre-ordered volume 6. So on July 7th, I will be pulling up to the bookstore and getting my copy and reading it. I cannot wait. I have a bunch of little golden books. Everything I Need to Know I Learned from American Girl, American Girl Happy Birthday, It's a Small World, The Orange Bird, American Girl Time for School, Taylor Swift, American Girl Happy Holidays, The Haunted Mansion, American Girl Making a Difference, and Everything I Need to Know I Learned from a Disney Little Golden Book. I have this giant The Happiest Place on Earth, The Incredible Story of Walt Disney's Disneyland by Dawn Han and Christopher Merritt. My mom got this for me for my birthday last year because we are Disney people very much. And this was a very interesting read. Obviously, this is giving like coffee table book. I totally get that, but I did in fact read it. I have The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. These books live rent-free in my mind, okay? They are a YA dystopian series, and it's like dystopian takes on classic fairy tales. So Cinder is Cinderella, Scarlet is Little Red Riding Hood, Cress is Rapunzel, Winter is Snow White, and then there are 2 short stories. So we have Fairest, which is Lavana's story. She's the main villain. And then Stars Above is a short story collection. I'm gonna read the synopsis from Cinder because I don't want to give like too many things away. Humans and androids crowd the raucous streets of New Beijing. A deadly plague ravages the population. From space, a ruthless lunar people watch, waiting to make their move. No one knows that Earth's fate hinges on one girl. 16-year-old Cinder, a gifted mechanic, is a cyborg. She's a second-class citizen with a mysterious past and is reviled by her stepmother. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she suddenly finds herself at the center of an intergalactic struggle and a forbidden attraction. Caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal, she must uncover secrets about her past in order to protect the world's future. Her world's future. Because there's something unusual about Cinder. Something that others would kill for. I'm going to leave it at that. These books are just so good. We have made it to my summer shelf, and this has so many of my favorite books on it. Oh my god. I feel like I should start off with my Emily Henry books. I have Beach Read, People Meet on Vacation, Book Lovers, Happy Place, and Funny Story. Truly, these are some of the books that really got me back into reading. I think it was Beach Read and People Meet on Vacation I ordered in 2021, and I just zoomed through them. I loved them so much. These are great summer reads, romance reads, like truly fleshed out. Like I used to love romance books and now they kind of give me the ick. Like I DNF them faster than any other book genre, but these always hit. You Get the Chance by Emma Lord follows Millie Price, who is obsessed with all things Broadway and musical and dreams of being a Broadway star, and she was brought up by her father not knowing who her mother is, and when an accidentally left open browser window brings Millie to her dad's embarrassingly moody live journal from 2003, Millie knows just what to do. Find her mom. It's just so Mamma Mia, and it was just so good. Such an amazing summer read. Another book that is very inspired by a movie is Sunkissed by Cassie West. This is very Dirty Dancing. It follows Avery, who is dragged along to this fun summer family camp thing, and she does not want to be there, but then she falls for Brooks, who, spoiler alert, he's staffed, so he's off limits. It was so Dirty Dancing, and I loved it. Like, just another good summer YA read. I have 2 more books by Alice Oseman. I have Nick and Charlie and Loveless, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is my favorite book by this author. I love the drama in it, and I think it's an amazing book to read if you love drama, if you love music, and it's in, let me do kind of the beginning. It's in interview format, so it's very like you can't trust anyone. And like my thing is that like if it's written down, if they say something, I'm gonna believe that they believe that it's true, even if they're lying through their teeth. And the show is amazing. The songs from Aurora are amazing. This is such a good book. I want more books like this. Make Believe by Victoria Hutchins is a collection of poems, and I'm not a poetry person, But if you want to dabble into poetry, I cannot recommend this enough. I read it multiple times a year. It's just so beautiful, and this is one of my signed copies as well because she's based in Houston. Look at that. The nicest, like, it's like a warm cup of tea or a hug from someone you love. Now we have made it to my Morgan Matson books. Morgan Matson is my favorite author. She does really amazing YA, coming of age, little bit of romance books, and most of them take place in summer. I am going to speed run these, but I will talk about my absolute favorites. Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, Second Chance Summer. Since You've Been Gone is one of my favorite books ever. I just saw so much of myself in a main character. And you know, just like when you watch a movie or read a book or listen to a song and you're just like, this is me, this is my soul. Just finding that soul character is just everything. It was Sloane who yanked Emily out of her shell and made life 100% interesting. But right before what should have been the most epic summer, Sloane just disappears. All she leaves behind is a to-do list. On it, 13 Sloane-inspired tasks that Emily would normally never try. But what if they could bring her best friend back? Emily now has this unexpected summer and the help of Frank Porter, totally unexpected, to check things off of Sloane's list. Who knows what she'll find? Emily is this introverted person who crosses paths with Sloane a couple years before, who's very outgoing. And Sloane's like, okay, we're best friends now, right? So everyone kind of knows Emily as Sloane's friend. She's not really known as her own person. She doesn't get out of her comfort zone. She does everything with Sloane. And so it's a really hard hit when her friend just disappears. And it's such a good story. One of my favorite YA romances. I just think it's phenomenal. And I literally have 2 copies of this book. The other one I annotated. I love it that much. The Unexpected Everything is another one that I love lots. It follows Andy, who is the daughter of, I believe, the senator, or at least a politician. He's a politician. And so she's had to live, live life very by the rules. And she is supposed to go and do this amazing internship, but something happens in the polls or something relating to her dad's work in politics where her internship is pulled, and suddenly she doesn't have any plans for the summer, and so she ends up walking dogs. She finds this dog walking business, starts doing that, and then it's just her summer with friends and meeting new people and learning more about herself, and just another great summer read. Save the date, Take Me Home Tonight, The Ballad of Darcy and Russell. The Firefly Summer is a middle grade book following Rihanna, who doesn't know anything about her mom's side of the family because her mom passed away when she was little. She's really just known her dad. And then one summer, she gets a letter from her grandparents inviting them to kind of their little camp with all of her cousins on her mom's side. And she goes wanting to learn more about her mom, but also being nervous because she doesn't know these people. She doesn't know these cousins, but she's also very interested in obviously learning about that side of herself and her family, and it was just really cute. And then we have 2 books that she did with Disney, which is Prom Chanted and Grad Chanted. They take place in Disneyland on prom night and DCA on graduation night. This one follows Stella, who ends up falling into the story of Sleeping Beauty along with Reese, a dude who's they don't really know each other, but they kind of hate each other already. And it's just so sweet, and it made me love Sleeping Beauty so much more. Like, I rewatched the movie after reading this, and I was saying all the inside jokes in this book. I'm like, nobody's gonna get this but me, but that's okay. And then Grad Chanted follows Cass, who is stuck in Groundhog Day, a Groundhog Day situation. She goes to grad night with her friend and realizes that all of her other schools that she's been to, because she's moved a lot due to her dad's jobs, and all of them, all the people who she just ghosted, never said goodbye to, yeah, they're there the same night, and so she's trapped living this night over and over and over again. But it's so good, and whenever I'm in a Disney mood, these are what I pick up. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson was a series that as soon as I finished the first book, I immediately had to order the others. It is a YA mystery series which follows Stevie, who is going to this unique boarding school in the New England area. It was put together by this millionaire, maybe billionaire, in the 20s or 30s for gifted children who have like very particular interests. Like she has a friend who wrote a best-selling novel at like 14 years old, and another one of her friends who something chemistry, physics, I don't know, like all of these kids who have just like achieved the most insane things at such a young age. And the reason why Stevie gets into this school is because she loves mysteries and murder mysteries, and she wants to solve the murder mystery that happened at this school. So back in the 30s, the school's creator, his wife and daughter vanished, and there have been so many people trying to figure things out through the years, and she's like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna solve it. And it is just the most insane story because without giving too much away, Stevie is trying to solve this mystery from the past while also trying to solve a mystery going on while she's there. This trilogy is phenomenal. And then there are some other books like The Box in the Woods that follow the same collection of characters but are not a part of the original Truly Devious storyline. So, like, it would help if you read these before reading the standalones, but you don't need to read these if you've read this. I don't think I'm making any sense right now. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I mean, we've all heard of this book. It is popular and well known, and just is for a reason. Okay, this is a beautiful story. When I started it, I was like, I don't know, like I like Greek mythology, but we'll see. I don't think I'm gonna cry. Girl, like I read 2/3 of this book when I was like in coffee shops with friends. We would have little reading dates. And thank God I read like the last 100 pages all on my own because that would not have been good. The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane was one of the first books I remember falling in love with. I believe it was third grade. My teacher read this to the class, and I just remember loving it and being fascinated by it. And like this is a core memory book for me. Once in a house on Egypt Street, there lived a China rabbit named Edward Tulane. The rabbit was very pleased with himself, for he was owned by a girl named Abilene, who treated him with the utmost care and adored him completely. And then, one day, he was lost. So it follows his journey, meeting all of these different people, living all of these different lives, and I cry every time. Educated by Tara Westover is a phenomenal memoir. This might have actually been one of the first memoirs I read. I read this because my freshman year of college, this was like their chosen book for incoming freshmen. And I actually got to meet Tara, and she signed my book, which is so cool. And now we have some of my environmental books. I don't talk about it a lot, but I am very passionate about environmentalism. I'm also plant-based or vegan, whichever word you want to use. And so these are some books that I really, really loved when I was learning more about everything, and I wanted to get my own copy of them. Turning the Tide on Plastic by Lucy Siegel. This is a very interesting book on plastic and how intertwined it is with our lives and cultures and such. And it also has some great advice on how to cut back in simple ways, or you could go hardcore on the plastic you use. The Intersectional Environmentalist by Leah Thomas. How to dismantle systems of oppression to protect people and the planet. I highly recommend this one. If you are interested in environmentalism or just want to learn more about intersectional environmentalism, I could not recommend this book more. I have followed Leah on Instagram for a very long time, and this is just a phenomenal read. She does amazing interviews, and it's just packed with so much information. And then I have This Is Vegan Propaganda by Ed Winters. Before I became vegan almost a year ago, I was reading a lot of books, and this one was one that I really enjoyed because part of it is, yes, talking about the meat industry and giving you information about how horrible it is. But then it goes into a lot of advice for, making the transition into vegetarianism or veganism, plant-based, whatever, and I just thought this was really well written. The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. Oh my god, everyone talks about these books and there's a reason why. I have the first 3 out of 8 volumes. I don't know if there's gonna be more after the 8, to be honest. And I've read the first 2. I've not yet read the 3rd one. I got this very recently. So it follows Emma, who is in her, maybe she's 20, and I think when she turns 21, she gets the rights to this house, Lapis Lazuli house. But for a long time, her cousin, through like marriage, has been living there and spent all her money. Spent all her money. And she's like, okay. So when she moves back, she's like, we got to deal with this. Okay. So she just keeps getting herself in some of the crazy situations. It takes place in the late 1800s, and it is just like, she's so fascinating to read about, especially because all of the chapters are written as journal entries. So it's a phenomenal read, and they're all quite small, so it's a very nice quick little read. Shady Hollow. Oh my goodness gracious, these books. There are 6 total and 2 novellas. So these are the first 3 books, and it is just very cozy Hallmark woodland creature solving mysteries. It follows Vera Vixen, who is a reporter, and she's a fox, and she's living in Shady Hollow, this quaint little town with all of these beautiful woodland creatures just living their lives. Okay, they've got a coffee shop, uh, they've got restaurants, they've got their houses, they've got their businesses, they've got a mayor, and next thing you know, murder happens. Murder. And so Vera has to save the day once again, because she's the only one. I mean, she has friends helping her, but she's the only one asking the important questions, you know. And these are just such comfort reads to me if I'm in a reading slump. Yep, yep. Of course, I have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I love this book so much, and I hope to soon get my hands on some copies of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I'm kind of waiting for like a gorgeous, beautiful copy to fall into my lap, you know? I also have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, a beautiful classic. We're getting into the classics here, you know? My Jane Austen books, Mansfield Park, Sense and Sensibility, Northanger Abbey, Emma, Persuasion, and Pride and Prejudice. And then last year I got a copy of Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Another amazing children's book that I just remember falling in love with, and I found it for like $1 at a library sale, so I said, yeah, you're coming home with me. I also have some other books in my room on top of my CD collection. I have the Guts World Tour book and the Eras Tour book. Oh, and the Leve May May book. Very, very cute. A very cute picture book. I've got some recipe books. My dad found this for me at Goodwill. It's The Vegan Cookie Connoisseur by Kelly Pelosa. I've not tried anything from here yet. I kind of keep forgetting about it, but maybe one day. The Unofficial Disney Parks Cookbook. I have made quite a few recipes in here, and it's been quite fun when I'm missing some Disney magic. Go Gently by Bonnie Wright. Actionable steps to nurture yourself and the planet. This is another great environmentalist book if you are just wanting to dip your toes in, learn more, see what you can do. I think she writes this so beautifully, and also has some amazing recipes in here as well. The Vegan Epicure. I picked this up at a used bookstore not long after I switched over to a plant-based diet. So this is another one that I've not tried any recipes for, but it's from 1998. So some really great recipes in here. However, there are some things that they talk about where I'm like, we have better substitutes now, so it's fine. My holy grail, Everyday Vegan Comfort by Nora Taylor, aka Nora Cooks. She has the best vegan recipes. Oh my god, I make these chocolate chip cookies all the time. Blueberry muffins all the time. She's everything to me. She's everything to me. And then I have Magical Herbalism by Scott Cunningham. I'm interested in this topic, and so I thought it would be fun to read about. I also have some astrology books. I'm currently in the middle of working with them. I want to learn more about that as well. I think it's very fun to pick topics to learn about as an adult. Okay, we have made it to the last section of books. I do have some more Disney Fairies picture books back there. If you want to know all about my Pixie Hollow book collection, I did a video on that in January. I will link it below. Taylor Swift Style by Sarah Chappell. She is like a Taylor Swift historian. She's had a Tumblr blog for I don't know how long. I don't know what era she started it in, documenting all of Taylor's fashion, and it's just absolutely amazing. I picked this up when I was in Portland, Oregon a couple years ago. I have Cat on a Blue Monday, a Midnight Louis mystery book. I picked this up when I was in, I think it was Wichita last September because I was like, a cat solving mysteries. That would be the perfect fall book. I never read it. I still haven't read it, but I'm still interested, so it stays on the shelf. A Question of Choice by Sarah Weddington. When I was doing a summer class, like my right before my last semester of college, we had to, I forget exactly what the topic was. If it was just like an important moment in history, we could just kind of pick whatever as long as like it fit a certain criteria or whatever. But I was reading this and writing my essay the summer that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so this book was more important than ever. I highly recommend reading it. If you don't know, Sarah Weddington was the lawyer who won Roe v. Wade. I think this book was originally written in like the 90s. Yeah, 92. So took place quite a while after the original Roe v. Wade case, and kind of had some, she talked about like what that entire process was like, and I've tabbed a lot of things in here, and I just think it's a very, very important book. I have Walt's Apprentice by Dick Nunis, a Disney legend. I got this on my Disney College program because he came to chat with us. He came to chat with us Disney College program participants, and it was very cool. This one is also signed. He did recently pass away, so I am very honored that I got to hear him talk about his experience and read this book and obviously have his signature. It's a very cool piece of Disney history right here. And I happen to be ending on a book I've not read yet. This is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wayne. I love historical fiction, and everyone has talked about how amazing this book is. I've had it for like 2 years now. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Someone bully me into reading this, please. Okay, I think we made it. I meant to speed run this a lot more than I actually did. I just love talking about books. It's so much fun. And I don't know if I was even able to sell you on any books today. Like, I tried to be a booktuber so many times in past years, but I'm just so bad at talking about books. I don't know. I'm like, I like it, I guess. I don't know. But this was so fun because I've talked about my other physical media collections, like my CDs, my vinyls, my DVDs, but I've not really just gotten chatty about books. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you got any book recommendations, I am so glad. And if you have any book recommendations for me, or great ways to bully me into reading like the 3 books on my bookshelf I've not read yet, that would be great. And if I can inspire you to do anything else today, it would be to get a library card and check out books to your heart's content, because then you don't feel bad for DNFing it. Oh, you waited 10 weeks on the holds list and now you're finally reading it and you actually don't like it, you're not in the mood for it. Okay, it's fine. You didn't pay for it. Like, return it and then maybe go back to it later. Like, it's fine. God, I have so many more books than I thought I did.